Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Everything Pattaya's third TiT. This is Thailand Podcast Pattaya. We're at the lovely Peaky Blinders restaurant, which is on Pratamnak Soi 1, just as you go up the hill toward Big Buddha. I'm going to show you around the restaurant for 1 minute first before we actually start the podcast. The moderator of the podcast is Claudio. Regular viewers will know Claudio from previous videos. Now, the essence of the podcast is to learn and discuss people's journey about how they ended up living in Thailand, which may help you with your decision about whether you want to move to Thailand. Now, that was the main part of the restaurant. This part here is especially for people who want to have a large party, like a family gathering, a birthday or corporate do or whatever. Okay, so that's the beautiful Peaky Blinders. Now I'll pass you back to Claudio to start the podcast.
Welcome back to the channel. Today another podcast, 3 new guests. First of all, I would like to thank TiT, which is the owner of Peaky Blinders, who was kind enough to invite us to film here. Thank you very much. We have Mark here, another business owner in Pattaya, and we've got Lee from Allen Bolton. Again, bring you another professional contact person that you can use. This video will be shown on a Friday, and we will be having a one-on-one with all real estate questions, which will be uploaded on a Sunday, on a Monday, so 2 or 3 days later. So maybe we can start. Name, nationality, how long have you been living here in Pattaya? Mark?
My name's Mark. I've been living in Thailand now for this is my 23rd year. I spent the first 10 in Koh Samui. Spent my 20s and early 30s down there, and then had my daughter, and when she was literally 1 week old, my wife and myself moved up to Pattaya. Been here since, so this is the 23rd year that in total that I've lived in Thailand.
And you're a business owner here?
Yes, I've got a partner in 2 businesses here. The Pantry expat shop, which is located near the Hanuman statue in Jomtien. It's been going for 2.5 years now. It's doing really well, nice growth. And Cheap Charlie's restaurant and bar in Jomtien on the immigration soi. We opened that 18 months ago.
I've been there. Excellent place.
You're British?
Yes, and I'm from the UK, yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Hi, how you doing? My nickname's E.T. I've been living in Thailand about 29 years, almost 30. Came to Pattaya. It'll be 4 years this month building Peaky Blinders. I was headhunted in the hotel industry, which I worked for 12 years, and then I went out on my own and tried a few different things.
All right, and you're American?
American, yeah.
Excellent. And now, guys, this week I actually complete 6 years in Pattaya. So compared to you all guys, I'm newbie. Lee, my man.
Hi, I'm Lee Knights from the UK. Been here 22 years, married for 20 years, in real estate for about 19 years. Always been in real estate. Back in the UK I was an engineer.
All right.
Came here on holiday, fell into a real estate job, liked it, and I've been doing it ever since. Yeah, interesting.
Interesting. We have some questions about this. How did you decide specifically to move to Thailand and not to any other retirement destination as Mexico, Costa Rica, Colombia, Dominican Republic, Cambodia, Philippines?
I was on my way back after travelling around the world for 14 months and spending a year of it in Australia, to go back to the UK to save a lump of money, to go back to Australia and live there. And then on the way back, me and one of the last guy that I was travelling with said we'd try and save up some money and stop in Thailand on the way back. And a week into that trip, I walked into a supermarket in Lamai in Koh Samui, and my ex-wife, she is now,
Ex-wife.
was sitting behind the counter, and it literally was one of them. I was besotted. I was 23 and she was 18, and it was sending faxes and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's how I ended up.
So
I was the plan was to go to Australia, and then I've never made it back there. So
That was 25 years ago.
yeah.
Good one. Now the American guy, why Thailand and not specifically for you, Costa Rica, Colombia? Have you tried any of them?
Well, it was, I guess I was around 28 years old at the time, and I really needed an international challenge. And I was approached by a few headhunters, and I told them, I said, I don't want to work at the White House, or I don't want to work in New York. I would prefer to work either in South America or Southeast Asia. And I said, I prefer Bangkok.
Okay.
And a couple of weeks later, received a phone call from Bangkok on an interview for a job with a hotel company, which I accepted.
Where were you living before in the US?
I was in Houston. I was working for a big hotel company, and I was there for 5 years, and it was just time to make a change.
So this was how long ago?
Almost 30 years ago. Wow, huh?
All right.
30 years ago.
That's different times.
I was young, yeah. Well, I wasn't quite retired then, but probably kept me out of prison. So,
Should we keep this in?
it was like, well, not that, it was a little bit lawlessness back in the early 90s in Thailand, not like it is today.
Right.
So,
No, because we have a lot of American viewers, and I think they're thinking exactly the same thing. Should I try to retire in any country like Mexico or Colombia, Costa Rica, or Thailand? And again, you talking from 30 years ago, I believe 30 years ago, Mexico looked completely different than
Yeah.
today. So
I definitely wouldn't tell anybody not to. I mean, it's there's a quality of life out in Southeast Asia that you're not going to find in Mexico.
right.
And
Here
yeah.
you also can find your new ex-wife. So
I can find his
few,
ex.
yeah, right.
I've never been married.
Do you know? I went back to the UK with my daughter for the first time in 9 years, like end of April, beginning of May, and I felt less safe there than what I feel when I'm here.
Agree.
Really?
I've just come back.
Absolutely, and it's constant though. There's with this. We were in London, don't get me wrong, and Edinburgh and places where, but it's like traffic things, and like it's non-stop sirens going off, and kind of you don't really here. It's just like
No, I agree with you, but I don't know if we're talking about specifically about Pattaya, because we're all in Pattaya, and I think Pattaya is absolutely safe wherever you go. Could you say the same thing about Phuket? Because the next question will be why Pattaya and not Bangkok? So in the next question we can address it, because again, what's with you? Did you think of any other retirement destination?
Well, I was up until my mid-20s. I was always
20
going.
years old. They're all young guys.
That was 30 years ago, by the way. But up until my mid-20s. What do you mean I'm not that old? I don't look that old. Up until my mid-20s, a 2-hour flight from England was the Mediterranean, right? Costa del Sol, Benidorm. Pattaya's like Benidorm on steroids, by the way. And a mate of mine said to me, do you fancy Asia? Never even heard of Pattaya 30 years ago. Bangkok, yes, of course, capital city. But I said, okay, how far is it? Is it more than 2 hours, etc., etc.? The flight was hellish. We flew on Czech Airlines. It cost 263 quid return. 3 weeks ago, I flew economy, 1,200 quid return, 263 pounds return, Czech Airlines. We stopped off in Prague, had a 7-hour delay, and we met a guy called Mr. Billy Coulson, passed away now, bit of a legend in Pattaya. He was with his Thai wife, Mam, and his little tiny daughter, Samantha, who's now 25, 26, I guess. During this 7 hours and plenty of Czech beer, we got to know all about Pattaya. He said, where are you going, guys? Well, Bangkok, I guess. He said, I've been going to Pattaya for 15, 20 years. Get in my minibus and I'll show you the ropes. So that's what we did, impromptu. We got on there, got on the minibus, got to Pattaya, and pretty much never left.
It was 20 years ago.
About 26 years ago. I came back home, sort of sorted all my affairs out, business stuff and what have you, sold up and came here. Yeah.
That was some layover you had. There's some.
Yeah.
I wonder how was Pattaya 26 years ago? Because
Very different.
Very
saw the dirt road,
It
which
was
is today Soi Pacao.
Yeah.
Or where
Yeah.
we are, Soi 15. It wasn't nothing there.
The difference is, well, you can't explain it, can you? There was TQs on Beach Road, and nothing.
Right.
Nothing really.
It was a village.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
Yeah, it was a dirt
Very,
road.
very
basically,
similar
with
to
respect
Samui.
yeah.
Obviously, my early experience in coming with when I was like 23 or whatever when I first come, flying into that airport in Samui with the the hut and that and the lovely flowers and everything, and on Cheweng Beach at that time we used to stay at the Art Bar. Now, if anyone goes to Cheweng now and they're into going out and partying and stuff, the Art Bar is the place. It's on the beach, and that exact same place was a little wooden shack with the thatched roof, and you'd walk around in your shorts and that's it. Everything was left in the bungalow. There was like 12 little 2-bedroom bungalows on the beach, and you'd walk out. If you go down there now, it's just totally different to how it was. But I think that's just how things develop, and at least you've still got those memories. And I think if you look hard enough, that's why I like going to Koh Chang, because it's kind of like how Samui was 20 years ago.
Yeah, still got its character.
Yeah,
Hasn't
and they don't
lost it,
allow
yeah.
them to carve out the,
Right.
because it's a national park and
Sure.
stuff. Yeah.
There are restrictions, and there's not a lot about it.
No.
You don't mess with royal family or religion, but as far as if it's temple ground, it remains like that forever. Which is good in a way.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things being ripped up in the name of whatever, and it changes, it loses its character. So yeah, I agree. Koh Chang is a pretty close, nice getaway.
So no, I don't know what to do with the next question, because why Pattaya, not Bangkok, Phuket, Koh Samui, Phurin, and Chiang Mai, because I'm talking to old timers who came here 20 years ago.
Well,
So we answered.
Let's answer that
let me
question.
tell you why we came from Samui to Pattaya. There was a few reasons. Number one, we just had a baby, and obviously the education here is way better than what it is on a paradise.
When was
island.
this? 10 years ago?
No, Ellie's she's going to be 17 in November, so 17 years ago.
17 years ago.
Yeah.
When did you move to Pattaya?
It would be 4 years,
4 years. So
Yeah.
you fairly new to Pattaya.
very new.
Right.
And every other place that I've lived, Pattaya always had this reputation of being, oh man, you can't live there. Everyone outside of Pattaya
It's
that
true.
lives in Wahin or
It's
Chiang
true.
Mai
Yeah.
or Bangkok say, oh no, but
Turn the nose up.
now that I've been here for 4 years, it fits really every lifestyle. And I would have to say, in activities, I've never seen so many people on their bicycle, walking, that are up early in the morning like I have in other cities. Pattaya does have everything. So depending on what group that you follow, it's going to be part of your lifestyle here.
Right. But not only this, we also have families with children coming here.
There's a whole area.
So if you think that's only adult, definitely not. We have actually audience here, which is my daughter, 15 years old. It's her 5th time that she's coming to Pattaya, visiting me every year when in her school holiday. So Pattaya is not only for adult entertainment, but also family.
Oh,
absolutely.
and it's
Designation.
changing.
Yes.
And it is changing.
Yes. So-
There's a lot more family activities that are happening here. You can see it in the restaurants, the beaches.
The water parks.
The water park. There's so many more activities that weren't here years ago. And, I would say 3 out of my 4 years, basically Pattaya was closed. With COVID was just terrible.
Yeah.
But it's kind of just like it's a rebirth of Pattaya, and I know there's a lot of people that are extending a lot of effort on making Pattaya an international city.
Yes, yes. You can see with all the new projects that they have here.
Can-
But it's surprising that you actually mentioned your family, because you actually think it was actually a much better move.
Well, if you know, for in education terms, it was, and then also I was playing a lot of golf at the time. So from that perspective, you know, there's 30 courses within 45 minutes or something. So that's attractive when you've only got one in Samui that's 5,000 baht around. You know, it's that's attractive. And then obviously the cost of living here is so much cheaper. Even when you go into a Tesco down there, you can pick up something that's 200 baht here. It's literally 25% more on it. It'll be another 40 baht, 50 baht on it, and it's still in Tesco. But you've got to pay for that transport to get it down there and get it onto the island. You know, you pay for that. You won't get beers down there 50, 60, 70 baht. It doesn't exist. It's 80, 90, 100, 120. That's if you're lucky. You know.
And not even mentioning that we are only 90 or 100 minutes away from Bangkok Airport.
Exactly.
So
now
it's
with
not
the new road, it's
exactly.
It's great. It's a great location, I think, Pattaya. And the other thing as well is I was just going to add is that I've always lived in Jomtien all the years. We've just found ourselves in Jomtien because obviously didn't want to be in town, and like, you know, I've been here already for a long time before I'd kind of done all that stuff. So we were here as a family to set up, and Jomtien kind of ticked all the boxes. And that's, you know, there's a lot of residents, if they don't live on the dark side but they want to be near the sea, you find that they see the Pratamnak or Jomtien, or maybe even further down to Na Jomtien, Bang Sarai. So yeah, I think there's a lot more families in that, more maybe, and over that side than what you'll find actually in the heart of Pattaya, where it's more kind of general 2-week millionaires and what have you.
Yes, but you actually live there because you have children who go to school.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't have children,
I would still, well, when she goes to university, we'll still live there.
I think the reason, from a real estate point of view, the reason that a lot of families, perhaps most families, live over the dark side, as they call it, 15 minutes to the lake from central Pattaya, is because the land is that much more cheaper.
Yes.
And you can have a nice pool villa that us Europeans aren't really used to for a lot less than you would anywhere else.
Yeah.
In essence, you get a lot more bang for your buck. The further away from any city in the world that you are, but 15 minutes, you know, and it's got this dark side name. It sounds like it's. I think it was called that because obviously the bright lights of the city.
No, it was to do with they didn't have the lighting
the lights
over there.
of the streets.
The street
sure,
lights, so
exactly.
it was called the dark. Because you'd go over there in the daytime and you'd have to get back before.
Yeah.
They have recently rebranded to the east side now. They do not want to be called the dark side anymore. I have been straightened by many customers.
Yeah. I mean,
East side.
going back to the call of Pattaya, the way I can emphasise the fact that it is such a great place to stay is not many people come here once, you know.
Absolutely.
I mean, people on it.
Thailand's Teflon.
Yeah,
It
honestly.
doesn't matter. You go through the riots, you go through SARS, you go through COVID, it doesn't matter what you chuck at Thailand.
No.
It's just people just come back.
Yeah.
It's Teflon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, great phrase. It is. I mean, like I say, not many people come here once, and we've all got our moans and this and that, and people who they bring it down, but they're still here 5 years later.
100%.
You know, we meet them every day.
But I think the longer you live here, the easier it is to deal with the things that don't make sense.
Sure.
Because, you know, like it does get frustrating at the start when you're like, well, why isn't that like that? And you question everything to understand. But when you just accept it for what it is and there's reason behind it and whatever it is, you don't have to look at it.
Yeah.
Just let it go and get on with what you can control.
that's why we call the channel TiT.
There you
Whenever
go.
something happens
Exactly.
and you can't explain the no logic, that's TiT. So
100%.
coming to the question, what
Yeah.
stories about TiT? What makes you think? I can tell you a few of my stories with my 4-year relationship, which again, normal people wouldn't know. She's got limited English, and after 4 years, she already established template answers, which are 3 options. I forgot. I'm old lady. She's only 38. The other, which is the best one, is
See you.
no. I'm Thai. I'm Thai lady. I'm Thai.
Yeah.
And then her English,
Very non-committal.
when she's asking me a question, then she takes it from Thai to English, then she's forgetting a few words, and then she's only saying single words. So she would say, hot. Who would understand something like
What is hot?
I'm trying to understand, but nothing coming out. So I told her, you remember we're already 4 years together, which means I already told you 1,200 times you cannot ask a question, a combined question, with one single word. So she would say, oh, sorry, very hot. I still don't know what she's asking for.
I think with these days with Google Translate, when you can just put a full
They're
sentence in.
lazy. She only used during the promotion period the Google Translate.
It's free. It's free.
It's free, but you still need to take it out. Any stories about this, guys? TiT?
Well, I remember the first wife that I met in Koh Samui those years ago.
She calls her the first one.
Well, just to differentiate, right?
Yeah, right.
I remember because she basically lived in Gampeng Phet, and then she'd gone down to the island to help her uncle and auntie with their business. And that's all that she'd really seen of the world. When we started going to Bangkok and stuff, I'll never forget when we went into a hotel and I was doing something, look for passports or whatever it is you're doing, was standing at the lift, and then I'm like, it was after about 10 minutes of me fidgeting around, and I looked and I'm like, where's this lift? And she's standing there and she's like looking at me and I'm looking at her, and I was like, have you pushed the lift? She went, what do you mean? I was like, well, you've got to push the lift for the lift to come down, and then you go under the lift. Oh, I don't know. Oh, okay, push the lift. So
And it wasn't one of those Scottish ones where it said 11?
No, 11 what? 11!
That reminds me of the story when my girlfriend sends me a picture. You see open yogurt inside the refrigerator, and she asked me the question, did you put in the yogurt in?
Did you put the yogurt in?
Right, with open lid. So I'm thinking to myself, Sherlock Holmes, it's only you and I living in the apartment.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't you, who might it be? Of course, I'm not saying it's to her. I say, yes, it was me. But this is typically. Lee, you're married.
Yeah, 20 years, yeah. Very happy, thank you, sir.
That's the first one.
Yeah. Well, no, I was married in England briefly, but
we're done, man.
swiftly moving on.
22 years ago.
When I first met my wife, Bua, I was here on holiday, round the pool, in Palm Garden Hotel, North Pattaya, just off the Dolphin Roundabout. It was like 7-8 quid a night, real nice place, great big swimming pool, just next to the Holiday Inn and the Amari Dusit, etc. And we've had some lunch around the pool, and she said, oh, I'm so full up, I can hardly breathe, oh, I'm so full up. We got the translation sorted. And then 10 minutes later, she's ordering food. And I said, Billa, 10 minutes earlier, you said you were so full up you could hardly breathe. Yeah, I was full up for that food, I'm not full up for this food.
Oh, yeah. Different
Still
foods.
can't get my head around that response.
Well, there's nothing worse.
There's always room for some time. Always some time.
I've come here for a
So
meal with my
slim.
wife and my daughter to TiT's place. We've had a 3-course up,
Yeah.
and on the way home we're stopping and getting suntan.
Oh, God.
I'm like, you can't be serious.
honestly.
But I just let it go now, you know. Like
Sure.
before, I'd call, but just like, well, that's what you want to do.
You're not
that's
going to
what
win,
wanna
are you?
do, you know?
You're not going to win, you have to let it go. Yeah.
And also mine, I don't know where she's packing all the things. She's still slim.
Sure.
And they can eat and eat.
Yeah, until you hit a certain number.
Another one, if I may.
Of course.
I've lived in a house for the last 12, 13 years in central Pattaya, but we had a 14th floor, top floor condo, and the washing machine was on the balcony. And after 8 years of her doing daily laundry on the balcony, she came back inside and said, can we move? This is too high. 8 years. 8 years. I'm thinking, aye.
What's
She's obviously,
happened?
one of her friends has obviously bought a house with her foreign boyfriend. It's time for us to make that transition, you know. Just come out with it. That's too high for me. What, after 8 years? Fantastic,
Yeah.
you know. You can't get angry, it's
No.
just, that's how it is.
Yeah.
Let it bounce off you.
Exactly.
You know, there's too many bitter people here.
So
You know,
it
just
is-
Absolutely.
nobody's holding a gun to your head.
That's one thing about Pattaya that's a
Keep smiling.
negative. It's like, it seems that nobody likes to see anybody doing well.
No.
It's like, you know, I encourage it. I really
Yeah.
love to see people
Yeah.
doing well and support their businesses
Sure.
and whatever else, but there's so much bitterness here sometimes. It
Strange
doesn't
one,
make
isn't
sense.
it? Yeah. Muscle flexors. I don't know. I don't
I
know
don't
why they do
understand
it.
it, no.
Yeah. Still, we can't change them.
No,
We try.
exactly.
I did get one great piece of advice when I first moved here. And that, one of the chefs I worked with, he said, it's going to happen probably most daily. And he said, you're going to see things that you can't imagine. It's going to happen. But just sit back behind a
Sure.
palm tree and go he.
Exactly.
So don't chase it. Don't make a story out of it. He says, otherwise, it will make your head spin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I've always kept that, and I still tell people today, he behind the palm tree.
That's good.
And
I like it.
I think the one who don't understand this and don't have the character, they eventually will go away and will say that they're bitter and it's not for them.
Yeah,
Exactly.
But I actually think they will nowhere they will achieve anything.
No, wherever they go, they're going to be
Exactly.
the same way. It doesn't
Exactly.
matter
The
what
best
it is.
piece of advice for somebody coming here is this place, Pattaya City, is as 5-star or as smutty as your eyes want to see. You know, it's as beautiful and 5-star as you'll ever find anywhere, or it's a bit naughty and a bit this and that's personal opinion, isn't it? It's what your eyes want to see.
It's been
I'm
that-
happy to bring my parents here and my family here, and you know.
My parents have been coming here for 15 years.
Yeah,
They love going
fantastic.
out on their own,
Sure.
going on the bus,
Sure.
and they have other friends that come over and they go out as squads together.
Feel relaxed and
You
safe
know,
for
down
them,
the
yeah.
sailor bar, going
Yeah.
looking for cheeky,
The cocktail buckets.
cheap cocktails. You know, just like go on, do it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's not my thing, but they love
Yeah,
it.
sure. Are we
Next
rolling?
question. What were the most difficulties that you realized after you moved to Thailand? Whether communication, difficulties, dating, different Falang mentalities, finding new friendships? Because again, we all leave our homes and families and we need to make a fresh start, and people are afraid because
Well-
we leave our environment.
Well, the weather's one of the reasons why you come here, I think. But communication-wise, I think it can be quite. You know, you go along with it at first because you know you're having the fun with the girls, and you know it's all kind of goo goo gaga, and it doesn't really matter. But when you actually get to the point where you're either deeper in a relationship and you're trying to get things sorted where it's important things, and you're trying to get them to understand something, and you didn't have Google Translate back in the day, that was
Frustrating.
pretty frustrating. And then when you start talking about business, even now, being able to speak pretty good Thai, when we're talking about business, I don't want to talk to you in Thai because I don't have that language to communicate it. So that can even still be frustrating even up to now when you're trying to find out things about, you know, whatever it may be to do with the business, whether it's a tax issue or whatever,
Right.
you know, you just want to understand what it is, but getting a straight answer, I think that's what I'm coming to. Getting a straight answer is the thing, whereas at home, if you go to someone, you get some advice, you're pretty certain that that's going to be correct. You can check it, oh yeah, that guy knows what he's talking about. Here, you can go to 3 different people and get three different lawyers and get 3 different answers.
Do you know what it is? My thoughts on this. Culturally, they're very non-committal. Where would you like to go tonight, darling? Up to you. No, I'm asking you because I'd like your opinion. That's why I'm asking the question to get an answer back. They answer a question with a question every time, which is a little bit different to what we're used to, of course. But again, you start to live with it. You start to understand it. You know, they're just non-committal because if it goes wrong, they don't want to lose face.
Yeah, it's a face thing. It all
That's
goes
what
back
it's
to the
all
face.
about.
It's a facing
Yeah.
and also educational. They don't want to be seen pushing or bossy.
No.
Let me ask you a different question because you've been here 20 plus years. When you came over here, what was the highest concentration of expats from which nationality?
Where I was, it was Brits.
Brits.
You tend to kind of look out your own really, I
Yeah.
think, when you get here, because you find a bit of safety in that, because you know people from wherever it is where you're from, and you know,
Oh,
like, and you
Safety in numbers.
You may be into the same, you know,
Do,
like.
do you
same-
agree with this
Yeah,
20
sure.
years ago?
Yeah, Europeans. Yeah.
What would you say today? More Americans than English?
No.
Today?
Similar. No, it's similar as it was. It's never really changed that much.
I don't
There's
think
a
it's
lot
changed
more-
too much. You just got more like the Chinese have come in. The
yeah.
Russians weren't here 20 years
No.
ago. There's been Indians. There wasn't so many Indians. So
Sure.
there's been more people added on to what it was.
Yeah, but again, I think we don't really, even the higher numbers here, we as English or American, we don't, or Germans even, we don't see them as often, or they don't connect to us as they stay more for their time.
no.
I hear much more American accent, and again, we had Peter on, American. We see many, many more, and also your channel does, when we think about it, mostly are Americans, and they're the one who now retire in the 10,000s per single day. And they want now to escape or find a new location, and that's basically the viewers. What would you say, T, since you're an American? Do you have a lot of American, or what is your clientele over here that you see?
I've got a very balanced client, Peaky. I wouldn't say American is that high here. With military retirement, I would say they have a solid presence.
Yeah, more than
but
before.
with family, American families, I would say that is something that I will see more increases once they realize the quality of life that they can have compared to what it is in other countries.
I think most people who are watching are actually the one who got now basically divorced and got cleaned up completely, and now they're looking for a new one, because if they go now into the dating world in America, ooh, they would be shocked. The entitlement, what's going on, we should mention this. Probably. All good over there. So what other difficulties did you find here besides, but again, you're three business people.
Yeah.
We, and Daz and myself, we don't own business, so we don't actually interact with. How easy it was to find new buddies, for example? New expat buddies.
You kind of, you put barriers up, I think. Subconsciously, you put barriers up. You want to integrate. You want to meet new groups, which I've over 22 years met some fantastic people here who remain friends. You know, there's a small group of personal, close friends. Meet people on a daily basis looking for property, coming into the office. A lot of them who buy, predominantly they become friends. You know.
Right.
They're thankful of the service, and they become friends. So,
Right.
you know, that's you do put barriers up. Well, I do, and you know, you're so far from home. Nobody likes to be on their own, I don't think. You know, that's just sad, isn't it? Because there's so much to do here. You will invariably find decent friends.
Yeah, and let's not forget, you all guys came here when you were 20 or 25 years younger.
Yeah.
Something completely different. Somebody who is now moving from the US, retirement age 60, 65, he's not socially that open as before. And that's exactly our broadcast, which we are trying to do, is having this information videos for the viewer to learn. Second is to bring professional contact, if it's real estate, if it's insurance broker, if it's a lawyer, if it's anything. And the third stage is basically that we want to make a get together, a meet up. Anyone who wants to come, we can pick a location like Peaky Blinders. One evening, let's say Saturday at 8:00, we will announce it. Then anyone who's new can come, or anyone, to try and find like-minded people.
Yeah.
Because the whole idea about this was, when I arrived here 6 years ago, what did I need? And I had everything. I had bought an apartment, I had everything, immigration, everything, motorbike. But again, the buddy of finding like-minded people was a big issue. Now, you're all working, you can make connections every single day. Daz not working, I'm not working, so we are limited. I can walk into, ladies is not a problem. But finding like-minded people, that's something else.
I think you find that the way I made a lot of my friends here at first, when I wasn't in business, you know, I was working from home at that point, it was the social of the golf. I met a lot of people that way. So I think whatever you're into socially, so like some people come here just to drink, that's their thing. So they meet their friends in the pubs and they have their pub friends. And there's some people that come here because they're into fitness and yoga and they want to go to the retreat. So then they meet, because you're not going to get someone socialising that's into yoga with the same guy that drinks in the bar from 11 o'clock every morning.
Absolutely.
So I think what you've got to do is come here, or even before you come here, look at the groups that are available and the clubs that are available. That you might meet like-minded people, because at least you've got a starting base to make a friendship that you're both into, whatever the interest may be, whether it be golf or
right. This is for people who are into golf or cycling or
whatever.
Hobby,
You
but
know,
what is with
chess? I know there's chess clubs here. There's
chess clubs. You hear? There's chess clubs.
You know, there's
You're absolutely
whatever
right.
you're into,
But
just
what do you do with people who have no interest in anything? That's a problem. Daz is doing his YouTube. I'm doing my own thing.
Somebody's always got an interest in something.
Right. No, but I think, again, if you have a bunch of people who come together and they have a meet-up, all new here. I know people that 2 years here, they have not even one single friend.
Well, that's what they've got in common. If you're bringing new people together, that's what their commonality is. They don't have the interest.
No, but you always can find
together.
something, because again, you're from Houston, you're from Texas, you're from wherever. But again, they don't have the opportunity. That's why I thought the meetups might be an opportunity
For sure.
to get together instead of walking around.
For
and
newbies, for sure.
yeah, but newbies even which are 2 years here, they haven't found real connections. I see them, and I talk to them, and I see what is still missing, and they tell
There's
me.
not that many introverts that live in Pattaya.
Exactly.
I mean, that's,
You've got to have a bit of a screw loose. You've got to have a bit of a screw
He mentioned it. I didn't say it.
There was that guy with the gold suit riding his bike all day.
Yeah, I mean, there are a few, and I do like to have them in the room. You usually learn a lot from them. So, but Pattaya it's definitely boiling with
per square
personality.
meter. It's up there in the world.
I'd say
for
to
sure.
these people who are lonely, dear me, if there's any place on earth that you don't have to be on your own, it's this city.
And 24 hours a 24 hours a day,
Oh, goodness
7
me.
days a week. It doesn't matter. Like you can be
Just
out
get
doing the walks.
Yeah, but
in the
I think
morning, or you can be
no,
out
no, but I
partying.
think it's a difference. You always can go out and find a nice lady to talk to, but then this is what I'm having with my lady. I've got a long-term relationship, 4 years, lovely lady. I cannot have a sophisticated conversation with her because or lack of communication or lack of basic understanding. Again, you understand Thai women, they still believe there are two moons, one in the night, one in the day. So it's a problem.
Yeah,
They're talking about God. So
you're talking about a communication thing here, right?
Yeah, but you still need to find
I'm a big
people.
believer in what you put in, you get out,
Yeah.
right? So if you put the time in and you
It's a
learn how
mental
to speak
application,
Thai,
yeah.
and you've got more things, and she's like, well, then maybe you know.
No, that's why we still need our finding our sort of people, and I believe Americans stick more to the American because of certain culture. UK more to the UK. You can talk about. I don't know. So I think that the finding the connections or like-minded people. I think this is one that eventually, after 2 or 3 or 4 years, after you achieved everything, that this is a key issue.
Particularly if there's someone there that can like help them with like certain, you know, the questions that they may have. Well, I can't, I don't know. So if there was somebody there that could help them talk through that, it would obviously have a lot more
Might
help
be.
for them in one night. Because if they're all newbies, they're not going to know what the answers to some of the questions are.
Yeah,
Life's too short, isn't it, to be sad and lonely, I think, you know?
Absolutely.
Just get out there. I mean, the best bit of advice I could give somebody is get a 1,000 baht note tattooed on your forehead, right? You'll never be alone ever again.
There you go.
But you still will be alone. Don't worry. Don't worry.
But I believe that people mix very highly in Pattaya. I see all people from all different parts of the world here in Peaky Blinders, and golf groups or what. There is a big mix, and people do.
There is a big mix. The people that I most of the times meet is when I ride the 10 baht bus, and I can tell you from last week I met a nice American guy, great guy. We change immediately line. He's a stock investor, so right my league. But then suddenly he sends me a message at midnight. Only at midnight. And the next day I ask him, what happened? He says, very simple. At 8:30, stock market opens up. Yes, I know, I'm also phoning, but I'm going to bed at 11. Why do you send me a message at midnight? So, but he only text message at these times. Never at 10 o'clock in the morning, never at 12. So when I want to contact him, nothing. So, nice guy.
That sounds like a Pattaya friendship.
Exactly, that sounds like...
Not him again.
Now, question number 6, which is very important for our newcomers. Dating stories in Thailand. I understand some of you are married. Maybe you can tell some stories before the marriage so you don't get in trouble or you don't become another statistic.
The answer to question number 6 is, can we get to number 7?
Okay. E.T., you're not married.
Swiftly moving
No,
on.
not, no.
Good man.
And I definitely wouldn't tell these stories. No. Dating.
So how long are you married?
20 years.
20 years.
The advice that I would give about dating is you know like when you're looking to make to do something that's important, you treat a big purchase. You're going to purchase a house or whatever it is. You're going to go and look at a few. You don't just go the first one, even just to compare what's going on. So have a little look around, enjoy what's in front of you, and don't rush into anything You know, like, because there's a playbook there that lots of guys fall for
Very well
on a
put.
regular basis.
Yeah, but wait. You're married for 20 years? 3-day rule that started for day. But you,
Yeah.
Don't break the 3-day rule.
Don't break it.
right. But you are now married 20 years.
Yeah, it was together 17.
Right. So how old was she when you got married to
It
her?
was 10 years between us, so I was 17, what am I now, 50, 33, she would be 23 and I was 33. I think
So she was-
24.
So she was 24 20 years ago. Right.
No, she's older. She's, that's right, yeah.
24.
She's that
Now,
old.
if you were not married today, would you get married again? Would you find someone in your age? Because again, our viewers, they're in the 55 to 65. I personally, I'm
But you
not.
said before that generally they've been through the marriage, they've
Yes,
got whatever
yes,
they've
yes,
got, they're
yes.
coming over here and they're
I-
going to start dating again.
right.
So the advice
I
is
wouldn't-
take your time and
Right.
you know,
Right.
find someone that ticks all the boxes.
And let's not forget, in these times when they got married, marriage was something very common. Today we have leasing, so don't forget about it. You're laughing. I'm just in a 4-year relationship now. I have to renew the lease.
I broke the
I'm
mold.
questioning if.
I broke the mould in age of relationships, right? I'm perhaps, tongue-in-cheek of course, but I'm perhaps the only male in Thailand with an older wife. You know, you see these, and fair play to them. I used to come here a long time ago on holiday for a couple of times before I decided to make the move. And I used to see these pensioners with Miss World on their arm, and I used to think, that's disgusting. But then I thought about it, and now I look at them and go, good on you, good on you. He's walking around with Miss World, some scorcher on his arm, so he's like a peacock. She's got to do nothing for his pension because he can't get it up anyway.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a win-win situation. Isn't
Right.
it? It's a win-win situation. He's got Miss World, she's got a regular income, and it must suit both parties. So now, I think, great, you know, it's whatever will be, you know.
Okay.
Until the money runs out.
Well,
If they're old enough, the money really doesn't.
the
run
life's going to run out before the money, isn't it? If
It's
the pension's good enough.
it's a long play, trust me.
Yeah. But
Is-
anyway, coming back to my wife's in her early 60s and I'm 54, so we have been married for 20 years.
Have you watched any of the videos that we make? Half your age plus 7.
Right.
Have you not? That's exactly
So
what
you said you
mine.
broke the mould.
Yeah, I broke the mould. That's what I'm trying to emphasise. Yeah.
It's working, so why not?
Yeah. I miss my mum, didn't I? That's what. That's what it's all
Let's
about.
see. You have anything to add?
I'm just laughing at your numbers. It's exactly where I'm at.
Exactly. But don't forget, now you approach the 4 years. You have to be careful because even after 4 years, women change a little bit. Once you start dating them, you think you found 7-Eleven, 24 hours, 7 days a week. And after you settle, like let's say 2 years, it's become more like a dentist's office. Only appointments, you need to call to make appointments. So after 4 years.
7-Eleven's changed. It used
After-
to be open at 7, closed at 11.
No.
And now, I mean, this 24 hours is a little more recent.
724 now.
A question.
7:24.
This is why, and I haven't got a straight answer to this. It's probably simple. Why is it called 7-Eleven? Does
It was
anybody
open
know?
at 7,
I think
closed at 11.
Is that really what it was?
Initially,
In the
I believe
US,
that's
right?
what
In the
it
US,
was.
right,
Yeah.
yeah, not
Yeah,
here.
but now they're open 24 hours.
Yeah.
So now my question is, why do they have
24/7.
right? So why do they have locks on the door?
Right.
Next question.
When there's a power cut.
For renovations when they go. Is there anything that you would have done differently now that you already know much about Thailand? Again, this is from 22 years ago, so
I probably would have moved here 10 years before I did.
That's great answer.
If
Great
I knew
answer.
that.
Yeah.
You know, in our broadcast before, that's exactly what the guy said.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
probably
was
would.
lucky.
But not only Jack, but also Travis said the same.
Yes, yes. And again, I'm here finding myself that next week I will be exactly 6 years here. And I came when I was 52 years old, which was again my retirement age. And I'm here on retirement visa I'm not planning to work here. That was the idea. So anyway, you can only do this when you're 50. And I believe I've done the perfect timing. And I'm coming to Pattaya, which is a developed city. It's not a village.
No.
Great opportunities, great people.
There's a lot of
We have no
misconceptions.
YouTube.
Yeah.
I didn't have YouTube when I came here. 6 years ago, you were there, so.
There's this place, if you come here, you'll see what it's all about. You know,
Yes,
if you read story, listen to story, listen to propaganda, read the, you know, it ain't right. Because when you do come here, which is going back to the statement I made earlier, not many people come here once. It's kind of, it gets you, doesn't it? You know, it's just so different.
We used to in Samui, and you can apply this to Pattaya, we used to call it the Samui magnet.
Right.
You know, people would just always come back. It doesn't matter what. They're back again, they're back again. And it's the same in Pattaya. Now you're starting to see after the COVID.
Right. But again, the most important thing is, which didn't happen when you were around, is YouTube, that you can get everything information.
Information wise, but part of that I thought was part of the beauty of not knowing and having to make the mistakes.
Right.
And,
No, but you know where you go there, and I see, again, I was in Philippines, and there it's becoming a major hub for Americans because of the history that they have. And I can tell you every time, the minute an American goes to Philippines, never been there, loves it. The minute he goes from the Philippines to Thailand, that's it. He's stuck in Thailand.
Yeah, but the Philippines has the English language is much more
But
available there.
But are we really limited? Are we? Is it so difficult here to communicate?
Well, I'm speaking of Thai to understand.
I don't speak any Thai.
listen,
I don't need. Do you speak Thai? Because you're
I
married.
think you're talking about the quality, because when you go to the Philippines, it's like you're talking to another person that communicate in the same language.
Yeah.
You don't feel yourself talking pidgin English just to communicate.
The food here just is so much better.
Different class.
Of course, the roads and infrastructure.
And security.
You want to go to Central with guys with AK-47s on the front?
We had one guy in the channel who actually lived in Philippines and in Thailand, and he only asked one single question. In the morning when you wake up, do you hear the rooster? Kikuriku. Because in the Philippines, everywhere where you go, you hear it, besides in the city.
I've got a house in central Pattaya, okay, so Bangkok, 10-minute walk to the office, ideal, but it's city living. It's on a nice estate, the Lenki family, who have pretty much monopolised half of the city with LK Metro and the lights, the hotels. There's a workers' camp that's been there for 6 years now. They've decided not to construct anything, but they keep chickens, roosters, and at 3:30, 3:45, every single morning, one of them will give it, and I'm awake. And once I'm awake, business comes into my head, and I'm not getting back to sleep. I look old for 22, don't I? Look at it.
Please mention this on our video when we make the one-on-one conversation about real estate. When you want to buy something or rent something, look out for these places where you have the rooster.
Well,
because this basically can destroy your...
I've got a balcony to my bedroom, and it's just to the side of the balcony. It's about 300 square metres, this plot of land. Couple of shacks on there. They're no trouble to anybody, but they keep chickens, you know. And when it gets light, just before it gets light, they've got to let you know about it every single morning.
So that answers the question about what would you have done differently moving here.
Learned how to throttle chickens.
E.T., anything?
I was just thinking about the crocodile farms that they're very quiet during the day, but the housing development surrounding them, if you go and visit that house at 10 o'clock at night, I think you're going to probably not want to buy that house. Yeah, visiting at the proper time.
I think we are done with all the questions. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I believe we're all very settled, so it's the same. Any advice that you can give the viewers who haven't been here and want to make the move? Any encouragement?
Well, I'd want to just a plug for one of my businesses, Cheap Charlie's, for people that are on a budget, as an example. ET's more, you know, fine dining quality food, but from a budget perspective...
It's not very expensive and it's high quality.
Exactly. But we basically have a reward card system where you buy a reward card, it costs you 199 baht. It lasts anywhere between 3 and 6 months, depending on what promotion we've got on. But with that card, you can get daily specials for 99 baht, full meal for 99 baht. And you can get breakfast starting from 89 baht, and that includes a tea and a coffee. And so, you know, all in, if you were to come and have a breakfast and a dinner and a couple of waters, you're spending a few dollars, a few pounds, whatever. So from that perspective, if you're thinking, right, you know, I've only got 40,000 a month, my rent's going to be 9, 10, how much I'm going to spend on food? You can eat in our place every day, or noodles on the street, and we have Thai food as well for 99 baht. You know, you can work that out. Probably 10 grand would cover your food for a full month. 10,000 baht. So yeah, and then obviously if you're missing things from home, because you know, we all do miss our treats from home. You know, it doesn't matter even if you don't live in Pattaya and you're watching this. We send it all over Thailand. We've got a website, so you just check out thepantry.co.th, and we're sending all over the country. So if you're missing your Warburton's crumpets or your American style sauces, ET buys a few bits and bobs off me. And so yeah, it's I just want people to understand that they're not going to be missing out on the things that they, because going back when we first came here, people would ask you, what do you want brought over? They would bring over brown sauce and tea bags,
it's all here now,
and crisps, and all of that stuff's here now.
Yeah. That's the difference from 20 years
and
to
never mind to get
today.
delivered to your door in the middle of Nakhon nowhere. That's the whole deal. That's a game changer.
Just make it clear to the viewers that there are 2 cheap channels.
Yeah, there's two cheap shows. I'm actually only involved. I only have an involvement in the one in John Tien, but there is one in
which
town.
soy is that?
It's
That's on Beach Road soy.
Soy
No, this is waste the immigration.
The immigration soy.
The immigration.
Yeah,
That's the best indication.
And
That's a
and
new
the one
place.
in town is in Soy Bacau, right at the Lenki Junction.
Well, everybody knows where that one is.
Yes.
It's
5 minutes
the one
from
Yes.
office,
John
Yes.
Kennedy on that.
And there's a new one going to be opening on the dark side. I think probably the beginning of October is the date. So.
It's not called dark side.
The east side.
East side. For the newcomers, the east side.
Yeah.
ET, any advice? Come to Peaky's Blinder, excellent food,
Beautiful place.
5 out of 5.
I can do that for him because I am here all the time and it's fucking lovely.
Yeah,
So
I've been here last week, and again, excellent food.
Bang on.
And the only comment that I made, excellent food, excellent service, 5 out of 5, and excellent.
there you go.
First
Well,
time
it's,
here.
it's a team of people that actually put that together for me, and I can't thank the staff in here for their dedication and kind of like seeing things through my eyes, which is great. I just wondered, like in Pattaya, there's a lot of people that keep thinking and comparing prices to Pattaya in Europe or the UK, and I'm going, there's nothing here except maybe local produce or proteins that should be, everything should be more expensive here. There should be a comparison. And I've just heard that 100 too many times.
Done.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's comparing apples with oranges.
Yeah,
so you can't
exactly.
do this.
The advice I'd give to a first timer is come here with an open mind. You'll invariably sit next to somebody at a bar, moaning his way through being here. Don't stay if you don't like it.
Exactly.
Nobody's holding a gun to your head, asking you to stay, begging you to stay. We've all got our own lives. You make it what it is. It's as beautiful as your eyes want to see. An hour, 2 hours out of this place, it's like being in a different world.
Yes.
You know, fantastic. It ain't going to suit everybody. Of course, it's not. It's Asia, but get over the few little problems. Get over those hurdles because it's different from where we're from, and life's great. Life's great. Business is good, and life's great.
Yeah, can I just, we talked a little bit before, I just want to say, because obviously a lot of this is about people retiring, but, you know, we all come here early, and I wouldn't put anybody off, you know, coming here and, you know, particularly, I wouldn't, if you've got no skills, don't think about it. If you're like ET and you can cook and you've got skills and you want a different challenge, there's plenty of people looking for good cooks to work for them or to go in business with them, or there's plenty of that going on. So, but you have to be in the shop window doing that from overseas is tough. You've got to come here because you've got to work out if someone can live here.
Right.
Because living here has,
But now you're talking about people who actually want to come to work here.
to work, yeah, but I just want to give a little plug because there is people out there that do want to come here and, or maybe are asking that question.
No, I think it's more people who would like to come here who are still not financially secure, and then they're looking actually to do a certain business where can
Correct.
generate a little bit more income.
It depends what stage you are in your life. You've got the people that are
Correct,
still starting
correct.
their career, you've got people who've got a bit of money saved but they'd like to maybe invest it, but they can't afford to do a business in the UK or in the US because it's
No,
ridiculous.
but they also have
they
a
can
smaller
try
pension.
here.
Right, but again, we have 2 restaurant owners here. We've got one real estate, and I'm actually also a real estate investor. But again, everyone, there are ways to do, but
Yeah.
I think more important is even that if you don't plan to work here, you still can do some activities.
Well, as you said, you're a real estate investor who I know, and that's what I would say as a plug for our company. You know, the real estate game. If you can afford a place or a second place,
That's what I have.
live off the returns.
Exactly.
Live off the returns on your investment, and a lot of people do. And you know, there's a lot of people with quite a large portfolio of investment properties here who do nothing else but just wait for the returns to come in.
It seems like it's a really good place to liquidate. Say like
Yeah.
you need some cash,
Yeah.
you know, and you've got that other flow and you just want to sell it. There's always a buyer.
Let's offload one and go again, or
Yeah, but
sure.
I'm making money
It's
by
great
renting
safety.
out
Sure.
a second property, short-term rental, minimum 30 days. My involvement is 20 minutes when he moves in, and then 20 minutes on checkout. That's it.
Perfect.
And I've got regular customers because I'm doing this already 2 years. Now I've got new booking from my regular customer. He will be coming for 7 months. I know him. I don't even have 20 minutes to explain. He knows everything.
Yeah.
It's just saying how are you doing? How are you doing in Scotland, which is now called New Islamabad with... Can I mention this? I'm not sure.
Yeah, you want to cut that out.
Yeah.
We can cut
Yeah,
your throat, yeah.
Scotland changed a little bit, so it's very refreshing for him to come over here. So I believe that's a wrap up.
Okay.
Guys, thank you all. See
Thanks,
you on
Mike.
the next video. And don't forget, another 2 days, the video will be coming out with Lee, Alan Bolton, one-on-one, real estate, all what you should know. We will, of course, bring also some other real estate agents so that you can compare whatever makes you comfortable. So bringing you information, useful professionals that you might use when you come here.
Thank you.
Guys, see you on
Right.
the next
Great.
video.
Cheers.
Okay. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. And don't forget to have a look below at the Soy 6 uncut videos on Patreon. Thanks a lot, guys. See you in the next video.